My name is Sarah. I live in a quiet town with my husband, John, and our little boy, Michael. John and I have been married for 10 years. We've built a life together. Our own house, a garden out back, a happy routine. At least it used to feel that way. John works hard. He's always been a good husband and a wonderful father. He's the kind of man who fixes things around the house, helps Michael with his homework, and kisses me on the forehead before leaving for work. We weren't perfect, but we were solid. Or so I thought. About 6 months ago, we hired someone to help around the house. His name is Alex. He was quiet, polite, always smiling. He cleaned, tended the garden, and even played with Michael when I was busy. First he was just there. Helper. Nothing more. But one evening everything shifted. I had come home late from work. John was still at the office, Michael was fast asleep, and Alex was in the kitchen reading a book. I made myself a cup of tea and sat down across from him. We started talking, nothing serious at first, just small talk. But then he told me about his life. He had no family in this city. He lived alone. He came here for work, hoping for a fresh start. We talked for a long time that night. Hours slipped by. There was something about him, something kind, warm, and easy to talk to. When I went to bed, I found myself smiling. That night I didn't sleep well. I kept thinking about our conversation. A week later, John had to travel for work. Just 3 days. I told myself it would be no different than the last time. But it was. That first night, after Michael went to bed, Alex and I had dinner together. We talked and laughed like we had before. He made me feel good, seen, understood. I hadn't felt that way in a long time. Then, in a moment I still can't fully explain, kissed him. It was just a small kiss, soft and quick. But my heart was pounding. I pulled away immediately, whispering, "This was a mistake." He didn't say anything, just looked at me, almost sadly. I left the room feeling ashamed and confused. That night I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, guilt eating me alive. What had I done? I loved John, didn't I? I promised myself it wouldn't happen again. One mistake. That's all it was. But a few days later it happened again. And this time it wasn't just a kiss. John was still away. Michael was asleep. I sat with Alex again, trying to act normal, but the air between us felt different. Charged, heavy. I should have walked away. I didn't. We kissed again. Only this time it lasted longer. I didn't stop it. And that was the moment everything truly changed. I had a secret now. Big one. A secret I carried with me everywhere I went. When John came back from his trip, I smiled like nothing had happened. I cooked dinner. We watched TV. We put Michael to bed together. But inside me something was breaking. Alex continued to work for us. Nothing seemed different on the outside. He was polite, professional. Around John, he acted like nothing had happened. But when we were alone, we didn't need to speak. The silence between us said enough. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every time John kissed me, I thought about Alex. Every time Michael laughed, my heart hurt, because I was lying to the people I loved most. I wanted to stop. I told myself I had to. But something inside me was drawn to Alex, like a flame to a moth. I couldn't explain it. It wasn't love, not really. It was something else, something I'd been missing. Then, just when I thought the guilt couldn't get worse, I found out John had been keeping a secret too. I found messages on his phone. Messages from a woman. They weren't just friendly. They were personal, intimate. At first I was furious. How could he betray me? I was his wife. But then I stopped myself. What right did I have to be angry? I had done the same thing. We were both lying. Both hiding pieces of our lives from each other. We were supposed to be a team, and now we were strangers sharing a home. I didn't know what to do. Should I confess about Alex? Should I confront John about the other woman? Or should we both keep pretending everything was fine? But I couldn't pretend anymore. The weight of the secret was too much. I couldn't carry it for the rest of my life. One night, after Michael went to bed and Alex had left for the day, I sat down next to John. My hands were shaking. "John," I said quietly, "I need to tell you something." He looked at me with soft eyes. "What is it?" I've been seeing someone," I said. The words came out like a whisper, but they felt like an earthquake. Silence. His face didn't change at first. He just stared at me. I looked down, unable to meet his eyes. I told him everything. About Alex. About the kiss. About the nights he was away. I told him I was sorry. I told him I still loved him. And then I cried. Finally John spoke. "I've been seeing someone too." The world stopped for a moment. He told me it started a few months ago. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. He was sorry too. We just sat there, two broken people holding pieces of our shattered trust, not knowing what to do with them. After that night, after everything was finally out in the open, John and I just sat in silence. The house felt too quiet, like it was holding its breath, waiting to see what we'd do next. We didn't fight. We didn't yell. We didn't even cry anymore. It was like we were both too tired for anger. We had both broken something precious. Now the question was, could we fix it? "I don't want to lose you," I whispered. John looked at me for a long time, then nodded. "Me neither." The next day we made the first hard decision. We let Alex go. It was painful. Not because I still wanted him, but because it was another reminder of the mistake I had made. Michael was upset. He liked Alex. He asked where he had gone. I told him Alex found another job. It wasn't the full truth, but I didn't want to burden my son with something so heavy. John and I also made another decision. We were going to try counseling. Neither of us had ever gone before. We didn't know what to expect, but we knew we needed help. Our marriage was bleeding, and we couldn't stop the pain alone. First, it was hard. Counseling forced us to face our guilt. The counselor asked questions that cut deep, questions we had been too afraid to ask each other. "Why did you kiss Alex?" she asked me gently. I stared at the floor. "I don't know," I whispered. I felt invisible. John was always working, always tired. We stopped talking. I felt alone in my own house. And then Alex came along and he saw me. I felt like I mattered again. John didn't say anything, but I could feel the sadness in him. Then the counselor turned to John. "Why did you see another woman?" John sighed. "I guess I felt unimportant too. Like Sarah didn't need me anymore. Everything was about Michael or work or the house. Lisa, she listened. She made me feel wanted." It was hard hearing that. But I knew he was right. Somewhere along the way, we stopped looking at each other. We got caught up in being parents, workers, adults, everything except husband and wife. Counseling helped us talk again. Really talk. We cried. We yelled. We sat in silence. But little by little, we started rebuilding something. Trust, though, didn't come back quickly. After I told John about Alex, I could feel his eyes on me when I picked up my phone. If I was late from work, he asked where I had been. First, I hated it. I wanted to scream. "I'm not cheating." But deep down I understood. I had hurt him. He had the right to be unsure. And I wasn't perfect either. I found myself wondering about Lisa. Did he still think about her? Did he miss her? I didn't ask for a long time. I was scared of the answer. But one night, after Michael had gone to bed, I finally asked, "Do you still talk to her?" John shook his head. "No. I ended it before you told me about Alex. I knew it was wrong. I just didn't know how to fix it. Until you were brave enough to tell the truth. That meant a lot to me. We made new rules for our marriage. If something was bothering us, we had to talk about it. No more silence. No more secrets. We checked in with each other. We started doing the little things again, like holding hands, cooking dinner together, even laughing at stupid TV shows on the couch. It wasn't perfect. Some days were hard. Some nights I still thought about the past. But we didn't let those thoughts control us. Michael started to smile more too. He loved that we were both home more often, both present. We went to the zoo, played board games, had silly family movie nights. The laughter that had disappeared slowly returned. About a year after everything came crashing down, John surprised me. He booked a weekend trip for just the two of us. Michael stayed with my sister, and we went to a quiet beach town. It was the first time we had been alone together in years. First, it was awkward. We didn't know what to say. But by the second day it felt easier. We walked along the beach, our feet sinking into the cold sand, the wind tangling my hair. We talked about everything, the past, the pain, the healing, the future. On our last night, John reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. "I want us to start over," he said, opening it to reveal a new wedding ring. A new ring for a new beginning. Tears filled my eyes. I hadn't expected it. I didn't think we'd ever get back to this place. I thought our story had ended the night I kissed Alex. But here we were, writing a new chapter. "I love you," I whispered. "I love you too," John said. We stood on the beach, wrapped in each other's arms, and let the past wash away with the tide. Today, our marriage isn't perfect. But it's honest. We trust each other. We talk to each other. We show up every single day. Michael is growing fast. He's happy, healthy, and surrounded by love. He doesn't remember much about Alex, and I'm glad. Some things are better left in the past. John and I still go to counseling sometimes, not because we're broken, but because we want to stay strong. We've learned that love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice. Promise. A decision you make over and over, even when it's hard. And we're still choosing each other. Looking back, I'm not proud of the mistakes we made. But I am proud of how we faced them. We didn't give up. We didn't walk away. We fought for our family and we won. Our story could have ended in heartbreak. But instead, it became a story of hope.